Hello, explorers. Have you ever noticed that the world around us is always changing? It's true. Change is when something becomes different from how it was before. It might look different, feel different, or even smell different. And the most exciting part is that you don't need to go on a big expedition to find it. Your own home is a brilliant laboratory full of amazing changes happening all the time, from the kitchen to the bathroom. All you need to do is open your eyes and get ready to look closely at the wonderful world right under your nose. It's a non-stop science show happening every single day. Let's think about it together. What kinds of changes can we spot? Maybe you see your grown-up making a cup of tea. The water starts off cold and then it gets hot and bubbly in the kettle. That's a change. Or perhaps you see a banana on the side that was bright yellow yesterday, but today it has lots of brown spots. That's another change. Even something as simple as scrunching up a piece of paper is a change. You've changed its shape from flat to wrinkly. Your house is a treasure chest of these little transformations, waiting for a super spotter like you to discover them. Changes can be big, like a tiny seed growing into a tall plant on your windowsill over many weeks. Or they can be super small and quick, like a drop of water making a dark spot on your t-shirt. Some changes are loud, like the pop of popcorn in the microwave, and some are very quiet, like an ice cube slowly melting in your drink. Today, we are going to become change detectives and learn about two very special types of change. One type is like a magic trick you can undo, and the other is a one-way street that you can never go back on. Are you ready for our home adventure? So, what are these two special types of change called? Well, scientists have brilliant names for them: reversible and irreversible. That might sound like a big, clever mouthful, but don't you worry. It's actually super simple once you get the hang of it. A reversible change is one you can turn back to the beginning, like rewinding your favorite cartoon. An irreversible change is one that's permanent, meaning it's stuck that way forever. Let's get our detective gear on and investigate some of these exciting changes happening right inside your home. It's going to be so much fun. First up on our investigation, let's explore reversible changes. A reversible change is a change that can be undone. It's like a little bit of everyday magic. You can change something, and then, abracadabra, you can change it right back to how it was at the very start. It hasn't become a totally new thing, it's just wearing a different costume for a little while. Think about an ice lolly on a hot summer's day. If you leave it out of the freezer, it changes from a solid, hard lolly into a sticky, colorful puddle. It has melted, but is this change forever? Let's find out. Let's take our melted ice lolly puddle as our first clue. What would happen if we carefully poured that liquid back into the lolly mold and popped it back into the chilly freezer? After a little while, it would get colder and colder, and guess what? It would turn back into a solid ice lolly again. The change was reversed. The water that makes up the lolly just changed its form from solid to liquid and back to solid again. This is a brilliant example of a reversible change because you can get your original lolly back just by making it cold. It's the same stuff, just in a different state. Here's another fantastic reversible change you can try in your kitchen, with a grown-up's help, of course. Get a glass of water and a spoonful of sugar. At the start, you have clear water and white, sparkly sugar crystals. Now, stir the sugar into the water until it completely disappears. It has dissolved. The water now tastes sweet, but where did the sugar go? It seems like it has vanished. But it is just hiding. The sugar has broken down into tiny pieces that are too small for our eyes to see, and they are mixed all through the water. But can we get it back? Yes, we can. This change is reversible too. If your grown-up very carefully heats the sugary water in a pan, the water will slowly turn into a gas called steam and float away into the air. This is called evaporation. As the water disappears, guess what you will find left behind at the bottom of the pan? The sugar. It might look a bit different, maybe like a sticky syrup at first, but the sugar is back. You have separated it from the water. You reversed the change. It's not magic, it's science, and it proves that dissolving is a reversible change. How cool is that? Now, let's put on our detective hats again and investigate the second type of change, irreversible changes. These changes are the complete opposite of reversible ones. Once an irreversible change has happened, you can never ever go back. It's like trying to unscramble an egg. You just can't do it. When an irreversible change happens, brand new materials are made, and the old ones are gone for good. It's a permanent transformation that creates something entirely new. It's a one-way journey with no return ticket, making it a very powerful kind of change indeed. A brilliant example happens in the kitchen almost every morning, cooking an egg. You start with a raw egg, which is a runny, transparent liquid called the egg white, and a gooey yellow yolk. But what happens when you crack it into a hot frying pan? Sizzle. The heat changes it completely. The runny, clear part turns solid and white, and the yolk becomes firm. You have cooked the egg. Now, could you turn that solid, white, cooked egg back into a runny, raw egg by cooling it down? Nope. No matter how long you put it in the fridge, it will always stay cooked. A new substance was formed. Let's think about another irreversible change. Have you ever seen a piece of toast that has been left in the toaster for too long? It comes out black, smoky, and definitely not very tasty. It has burned. Before you had a soft, light brown piece of bread, but when it burned, the heat caused a chemical reaction. The bread changed into something new, a black, crumbly substance called carbon. Can you turn that black, burnt toast back into soft, yummy bread? You can't, no matter what you try. You can't unburn it. This is a classic irreversible change. And what about baking a cake? This is one of the most delicious irreversible changes of all. You start with a mixture of separate ingredients: flour, sugar, eggs, and butter. It's a runny, gooey batter. But once you pop it in the hot oven, a spectacular chemical change happens. The heat makes all the ingredients join together and transform into something completely new: a light, fluffy, spongy cake. Once it's baked, you can't separate the eggs, flour, and sugar out again. You have created a brand new substance, and that is what makes irreversible changes so final, and in this case, so very tasty. So now you know the secrets of reversible and irreversible changes. The big difference is all about whether or not new stuff, or as scientists say, a new substance, is made. In a reversible change, like melting ice, no new substance is made. You start with water in its solid ice form, and you end with water in its liquid form. You can easily change it back just by changing the temperature. The water molecules are the same, they are just behaving differently. They can be close together and still, or they can be further apart and wiggling around. But in an irreversible change, like baking a cake or burning toast, a chemical reaction happens. The original ingredients are completely transformed and disappear forever, making something totally new in their place. The heat from the oven or toaster causes the atoms inside the ingredients to rearrange themselves and form new connections, like a whole new team of Lego bricks being built. That's why you can't get the original flour, egg, and sugar back from the cake. They have become part of a new substance called cake. This is the key to why some changes are permanent. Now it's your turn to be a change detective in your own home. For the rest of the day, I want you to keep your eyes wide open and look for as many changes as you can. Ask yourself questions about everything you see. When you have a bath, what happens to the bath bomb when it hits the water? Is that change reversible? What about when you mix blue and yellow paint to make green? Can you unmix them to get the blue and yellow back? Keep a little notebook and write down or draw all the changes you spot on your amazing home expedition. Here are some top tips to help you decide if a change is reversible or irreversible. First, ask yourself, can I get the original thing back easily? If you melt butter, you can make it solid again in the fridge. That's a big clue, it's reversible. Second, look for signs of a new substance. Did the change create a new smell like when you bake cookies? Did it make light or heat, like a burning candle? Did it create bubbles or fizzing? These are all strong clues that an irreversible chemical change has happened. Happy investigating, my brilliant change detectives!